I spotted him before he saw me, my brother, Marcus, walking toward the hospital parking lot with a bouquet of pink roses in his hand and a balloon that said, "It's a girl." I had just landed and drove straight from the airport. My wife, Sarah, was in labor. She was 8 months pregnant with our first child. 2 hours earlier, her mother had called. "She's at St. Mary's. The baby's coming early. You need to get here." I grabbed the first flight and now, parked just a few spaces away, I saw Marcus walking toward the entrance, the flowers and balloon in tow. I watched him go inside, waited for a minute, then followed. The maternity ward was on the 3rd floor. I took the stairs and approached the reception desk. "Can I help you?" the attendant asked with a smile. "My wife just gave birth." "Sarah Mitchell," I said. She typed the name into the computer, then frowned. "I'm sorry, sir. I don't have a Sarah Mitchell checked in." I felt a knot in my stomach. "She was in labor this morning. I got the call. She's here." The receptionist checked again, more carefully this time, but still no luck. "I'm sorry, sir. No one by that name is here." She glanced over my shoulder, past me, and smiled. "Oh, congratulations again," she said warmly. "This gentleman's baby was born this morning. A beautiful little girl." I turned. Marcus stood frozen. "What room is she in?" I asked quietly. The attendant hesitated. I can't give out that information unless." "He's my brother," I said, cutting her off. "Just tell me the room number." 317, she whispered. I walked past Marcus, silent, and made my way down the hall. Room 317 was at the end of the corridor, the door half open. I could hear voices. Sarah, exhausted but joyful, and my mother cooing over the baby. "She's perfect, Daniel," my mother said. "She has your eyes and his nose." I stopped in the doorway, my heart hammering. My world tilted. "I tried to call," I said softly. Sarah looked down at the baby, then up at me. "Tell me, is she mine?" "Of course she is," Sarah whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. "Then why is Marcus here?" I asked. No one answered. "Why did the receptionist say his baby was born this morning?" I pressed, but there was no response. My father's face crumpled and my mother began to cry. Sarah held the baby tighter. "How long?" I asked, my voice cracking. "It's not about how long," she whispered. 2 years. 2 years. I stared at her, disbelief and anger churning in my chest. "We'd been married for 3. I didn't shout. I didn't throw things. I simply turned and walked out. Marcus tried to speak in the hallway, but I held up my hand, signaling him to stop. I walked past him, took the stairs down to the parking lot, and drove away. I checked into a hotel, sat on the bed, and started making calls. First, to a lawyer. "My wife gave birth today. The child may not be mine. I need a paternity test and divorce papers immediately." Next, to a private investigator. "I need everything. Phone records, financial transactions, and a timeline of the affair. Yesterday, if possible." And then I called my parents. My father picked up. "Don't," I said before he could speak. "Don't try to explain. Don't say it's complicated. Don't ask me to forgive." "You don't mean that," my father started, but I cut him off. "You choose them or me. You don't get both," I said and hung up. 3 days later, the evidence arrived. Text messages spanning 26 months. Hotel receipts. Marcus paying for Sarah's doctor appointments, listed as her emergency contact. Photos of them together, his hand on her stomach, his hand over hers. "Can't wait to meet our daughter," one of the messages read. But it wasn't my child. The paternity test confirmed it 4 days later. 0% probability. Not my child. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. File for annulment based on fraud. Sarah tried calling me 217 times in 1 week. I blocked her number. Marcus showed up at the hotel. Security had to remove him. My mother sent me a letter. I returned it unopened. The annulment hearing came 6 weeks later. Sarah contested, claiming I knew about Marcus, that I approved, that we discussed it. My lawyer presented every text, every photo, every lie. The judge reviewed the evidence carefully. "Did your husband know about the affair?" "No," Sarah whispered. "And the child?" the judge asked. "Did you tell him it might not be his?" "No," she admitted. The judge declared the marriage void. Sarah got nothing. No spousal support. No division of assets. Marcus tried to speak to me outside the courthouse, but I ignored him and kept walking. I left. 8 months later, I moved to a new state. I found a new job and a new life. No contact with Sarah, Marcus, or my parents. They made their choices. I made mine. People ask if I feel bad for the child. No. I didn't create this mess. They did. They'll have to live with it. Sarah wanted me to raise Marcus's daughter, to be the convenient father while they lived their truth. I chose my truth, I walked away. Let them have each other and bear the consequences of their lies. Blood may be thicker than water, but it's easy to wash your hands of. And that's what I did, I washed mine clean. They rushed me home to witness their betrayal, but I left with it forever. I've never looked back. Not revenge. Survival. They wanted his child. Now they can raise her without me. Without my money. Without my forgiveness.